Hello all, this is Rio with Unity Gaming Group, and today we're going to start on episode 5. And today I want to talk a little bit more about the potential for police simulator patrol officers. One of the things that I've been discussing with other people lately is the fact that the AI is so bad in this open beta. And one of the things that I saw the other day, and I was just telling one of the other members of Discord about it, and that's that there's this video where there's a demo, an AI interaction demo, where you can actually speak in voice in game, and the AI recognizes you speaking in voice in game, and it responds like a normal human being would. And it's just amazing at just how, I guess, diverse it is. And I just wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about that for a minute. And let me see if I can actually pull that up and actually show you what I'm talking about here. All right, so here is the video. It is done by, what's this guy's name? T. Martin 2. And it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, just what they did with it, I mean, it's amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and just take a quick look at it real quick, and then we can go ahead and discuss it as we're going here. I'll pause it here and there throughout the video, but let's go ahead and do this.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Unreal Engine 5. We are back here in New York City, and today we are going to be attempting to convince smart NPCs that they're living in a simulation. Got our first subject here in the gray suit. Hey, I don't mean to alarm you, but this is not real.
I'm sorry. Who's that?
You are not living in a real world. This is all made up.
What do you mean? Not real. I feel alive, and this city is amazing.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, the graphics are great, but this is a video game.
We pay attention to the traffic,
This feels
the
too real to
pedestrian
be a
traffic,
game.
the
Do you
cars.
ever wonder if
Things are
pigeons think we're
smooth.
the weird ones?
People glance at you and they're walking by.
Excuse me, what? Wait, how do you know that pigeons exist?
Of course, pigeons exist. They're all over the city, just like us.
Oh, bro, wait, he took this in the left field. You are just lines of code in a video game.
I am not just lines of code. I am Liam, a real person enjoying this city.
What's today's date, Liam? What is today's date?
Today's date. It's a beautiful day in May. My friend. Let's enjoy it.
Liam, today is July 18th, 2023.
Oh, I must have lost track of time.
All right, so anyways, I mean, as you can see, just the interaction there is amazing. I mean, the AI is responding. Obviously, the AI could use some little bit of tweaking here because didn't know what the date actually was. But the fact of the matter is that there's that interaction there and a potential there for something like Police Simulator to really expand its horizons. I really think that, I mean, I wish they could get a hold of this API and add this to Police Simulator, because I think it would really make a difference. Potentially, it could be a great game. There are a lot of different games out there that have tried to do this, what Police Simulator is trying to do. And, I mean, we've got flashing lights, we've got the LSPDFR, we've got, 5M, we've got responding, which is in development. We have several other different police simulators out there that are actually being, looked at very seriously, and they're trying to actually develop them. The problem rests in the way the industry is right now, right? So it's not really a matter of, we can't do it because we're not skilled, although that is the case in some cases. I mean, Wildcard is a definitely a studio that has a lot of inexperience. Not as bad as it used to be, though. They've learned throughout the years. Now, have they learned the right lessons? Not necessarily. Like Studio Wildcard with the Ark franchise, they were starting to get there in Ark Survival Evolved, and then they decided they were going to remaster to Ark Survival Ascended using Unreal Engine 5. And then, of course, they said, oh, well, we're going to go up to 5.1, 5.2, then finally up to 5.5. And they have made some leaps and bounds in the technology, but I don't know if the developers have really rounded out their skill set enough to really pull off an amazing survival experience. I just think that there are a lot of things that need to be tweaked. And I think that goes with practically any game these days, is that when you've got a small studio at first and you start to build up a product, like for in this particular situation, PSPO, it's a small studio and they're trying to do way more than they're probably qualified to or experienced enough to do. And I think that's part of the problem. And I think it's also a matter of, you have to look at the infrastructure of the studio, and we don't know very much about Astragon, at least I don't. But I can say that it's a small development team, because they've said that, and I just don't think they have the funding to hire on the appropriate developers to actually improve the AI, or to purchase maybe like that smart NPC API. And that's a big thing, because there are systems already out there in production that actually do meet the criteria that would be amazing to really take a game like this to the next level. And I just think that it's a matter of funding, it's a matter of the studio, it's politics, it's finances, it's a matter of do they have publishers? Is the publisher calling the shots, or is the studio calling the shots themselves? And who's making those decisions? And what's the marketing look like? What's the accounting look like? How much of a budget do they have? I think all these things are probably a part of that factor as to why we're not seeing some of the amazing AI developments that we see, like in that video, where, this guy's walking around in the Matrix. He's talking to people, NPCs. They're reacting to him. He has several conversations throughout that video. And it's amazing to watch, because that's where the potential really is. And I think that's what draws us in. I think we all kind of go, wow, there's so much potential for this game. But we all have to remember, and it's hard to think like that, but we have to remember that with potential comes a price point. Yeah, you have plenty of potential, but if you ain't got the money, you're just not going to get very far. And I think that's what we're running into with Police Simulator, is that they just don't have the money to invest on that level for that kind of an API in order to make that AI really pop. Because just watching the video throughout it, I've noticed the traffic patterns are nice. Everything's slowly stopping like they're supposed to. They're following traffic patterns, using turn signals. People are hailing cabs. The pedestrians are walking by. They glance at you. They'll actually stop and talk to you. If you say, hey, in voice, they'll just stop. They'll turn around. They'll talk to you. They're going about their busy lives, and it feels like a lifelike, real-life simulation. And that's where Police Simulator needs to get to. It needs to feel natural. If it doesn't feel natural, then you lose the immersion that makes the game interesting to begin with. And I think that's where we're at right now in Police Simulator. But I wanted to talk about that a little bit, because potential versus factual, what's the word I'm looking for? Potential doesn't always mean it's gonna live up to what you want. At the end of the day, just because you have the potential to make a great game doesn't mean you can. And I think we're at a point now where people are starting to realize that you may never get to that level. And while I'd love it to, and I think there are a lot of amazing technologies out there that could make it happen, getting that kind of help or getting that kind of cooperation between studios isn't so easy. I don't know if that open AI or whatever they're using for that particular smart NPC demo is available to other studios, but if it were, that would be a game changer industry-wide. That would be huge. Can you imagine if we had the graphics of a 5M or an LSPDFR server, and we had that interaction with NPCs? Could you imagine what this thing would look like and just how different it would be and how amazingly caught up we'd all get in just running around doing traffic stops? I mean, it would be just insane, mind-blowing. Such a huge leap and bound above what we expect. So, let me take a drink here real quick. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that because, I mean, I've got a couple of friends now, including one I just recently met from the actual police simulator Discord, who's been talking about maybe starting a studio or, starting a project to make a police sim themselves. And I said the same thing because I've got some experience in Unreal Engine, and I've done some game development in my earlier years. And I was thinking to myself, I thought the same thing, and then it started occurring to me that, yeah, I could probably pull something off, but I don't want to end up where Police Simulator is currently. And that's about as far as I could probably get by myself, because you're talking about just several different aspects of development. You're talking about the game engine itself. You're talking about all the scripting, NPC interactions, getting the right APIs, making the game assets, because you'd have to make your own game assets unless you want to hire a graphic artist or, a 3D artist. I mean, there's the music, there's the sound, there's a whole bunch of things involved. And it really takes a fairly well-built studio with these positions open, and then you have to make sure that the people that are in these positions can produce in an efficient and timely manner. Because you can't afford to be stalled out because, the art department hasn't gotten the badges made for the uniforms or hasn't made the avatars yet. And so you're running around with a little capsule blob character, your actor is a basically a pill. You need to have these things, and you need to be able to flesh out a workable and believable prototype in order to attract the right amount of attention for potential production companies to take over, or producers, or the publishers, all that stuff. It needs to be done right. And I think they're doing the best they can at Astragon, but I don't think they're financially what's the word I'm thinking here? Let me think about it. They're not financially able to go out and get these, really specialized developers and expand their studio enough to make that happen. I think the only way they could possibly get away with that would be to do something like a Kickstarter program or something of that nature in order to make it happen. Just as a general observation, from what I saw, because I wasn't here when it first went into development, so I didn't see all the stuff, the early stuff, but just as a general observation, I'd say that from my perspective, this was a very small handful of people that decided, hey, let's make a police game. And when they made this police game, they started with just a few people, and they started plugging away at it until they had a prototype, and then they went into alpha. All right, so we're not talking about a serious studio at this point. We're talking about a very small indie studio, if that. And then as they started saying, wouldn't it be nice if, they started adding more things that they'd like to do until they got everything kind of just crunched together and shoved into this game to make it appear to be working, but not really be where it needs to be at. So basically we're seeing almost like a Lego model, right? We're seeing a few of the blocks that have been put together enough to conform to some sort of shape, so we kind of know what it's supposed to be, but we haven't actually seen the rest of the Lego blocks in place to see what it's supposed to be for real. I mean, this is the view, the vision, and this is what we should be seeing. And I think that's where we're at right now. I think that they're going to have to make some serious decisions on how they're going to progress, how they're going to expand their development teams, and get this thing to a point where it can break past that kind of like a hard limit at the top of where they can go as a studio of their size. They have to break past that threshold in order to get to a point where they can start hiring some serious development and really get things going the way they need it to go to make this thing successful. It has the potential to blow up into something huge. I mean, it really does. I mean, if they can pull off a good police simulator and have the or not the reality, but the realism of it and the immersion, and actually have things work as they're intended to, it could be just game changing. You know, there's no games like that out there. There's only modded games out there like that. So I'm just like, wow, the potential there is just huge. So I think that's what we're all kind of hoping for. And I really hope that we do get to see that. I'd like to see that happen before the studio either crumbles or they run out of money and then they fold. You know, I mean, they're in a very dangerous position as developers right now, and it could really make or break a studio depending on just how overextended they get on the finances, how much of the budget they kill. I know a lot of people were complaining about the DLCs. All right, so there's a lot of DLCs already for this, and it's not even out of beta yet. And I kind of agree with them on it. I think that it's kind of not very tasteful to have a bunch of DLCs for something that's not even truly out of beta testing. And it feels like it's a money grab, and in a lot of cases it is. I mean, let's not lie. It's a money grab because they're looking to keep financing their development, and the only way they can do that is to release DLCs that give you more shiny things to keep people buying it, so they keep funding the developers in the studio, so the developers in the studio can continue on with their vision. I get that. I think it's a very bad way of running a business, but that is the reality. That is game design and game development at this point. Nobody can afford it anymore because people are getting, a little hungrier, and they want more money, and they want, inflation and all that. I mean, it's really a matter of they want enough to support their livelihoods and to keep the business going. And unfortunately, because of the way things have been going in the country and in the world, I mean, it is what it is. They have to do it this way, or they're never going to be able to support themselves or their studio. So, I mean, I get why they're doing it, and I have all the empathy in the world for that. It's just a shame that it has to come to that. The industry is so screwed up right now. I mean, you can look at some of these older games that are polished before they ever even reached the shelf. They were on CD or DVD or even on floppies. And when you installed them and you played them, you didn't crash. You didn't have bugs. It was literally just, you played it, and the game was done. And that whole, I guess, tendency to do it that way has disappeared. Now it's, let's just get something out there for the masses so that we can attract attention. Then we can sell them a bunch of stuff and keep ourselves in business. And the whole industry model has just been destroyed by that approach. And a lot more studios out there in the world today are doing that. It's disturbing, it's disgusting, and it's an unfortunate reality. So, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. So, I mean, all we can really do as the players and part of the communities, whatever you want to call us, community member, all we can do is support their efforts, offer good feedback, advice, report the bugs, and hope and pray that they can actually find the resources or have the knowledge to fix or to polish up things that need to be polished up, and then see where we're at, 6 months from now. Just in your head, you need to understand, and you need to get to this mentality of, if you're buying these DLCs for a beta that's not even in launch or early access, you're doing it to support the studio. That's what it boils down to. You're supporting the studio with the hopes that it will be successful and that it will produce the things that you'd like to see in the game. I think my biggest complaint about that whole thing is that I have actually been a part of several early access. I won't mention the names of the companies or the games themselves, but I've been a part of a lot of early access games, and I've been in the betas for those games. And it seems like more often than not, they make these promises and then they don't follow through on them. And that's my biggest fear with Police Simulator, is that if you make a promise or if you say we're going to add this, then we want you to do what you said you were going to do. There was a couple of titles where they said, hey, we're going to have dedicated servers. Server owners are going to be able to use their own hardware and launch an actual sandbox server. And of course, they get to the point where they've released and they're in early access, and then they say, oh, no, we've decided not to do that. Or, oh, but there's a caveat. We couldn't do it this way, so what we're going to do is we're going to allow you to host the server through our network, paying us for it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm a server owner, and I don't want to pay for your hardware and access to your servers. I want to pay for what I already own, already have set up, and already maintain myself. I want full control over my dedicated server. And it's happened with 3 or 4 different titles that have said, hey, dedicated servers are coming. So, I mean, again, it's just one of them things where it's a gamble, and it's not a very promising gamble. I mean, there's no reassurances at all. And that's part of my skeptical nature when it comes to looking at these people that announce it, these studios. And I'm just like, yeah, right, whatever. Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it. So, I mean, that's where we're at on that. But anyways, I think what we're going to do today, since we're done talking about it, and I've kind of showed a quick overview of that video, I'd like to go ahead and just do a couple of highway patrol runs and see what happens. I don't know how long I'm going to last, because I think it's already, 21 minutes into the video. But we are set up for an open patrol, so we're not even on the clock right now. So we're just going to go out here. We're going to grab our cruiser, and we're going to go out, and we're going to ride around. Now, I'm going to just double-check settings real quick, because I guarantee you it's probably going to be screwed up. But let's go over here. We'll go to game. Come down here to gameplay. Casual mode is on. General casual settings. Ignore player vehicle damage and collision with pedestrians. Also turns on immediate points feedback. Okay, so that's on. Automated car repair. Yeah, that's on. Immediate points. That's on. Detailed score. Yeah, all on. Ignore player damage. You can no longer be injured. Ignore car damage. Damage to the patrol car is only visible, and it can't break down. All right, so my complaint on that is, if that says ignore car damage, I don't want to see the visual either. All right, I don't want to see a crunched up car with smoke billowing out of it whenever I have to pit somebody. So there needs to be some tweaks to that, I think. I mean, that's my opinion, and of course my opinion means very little in the eyes of the studio, but that's how I feel about it. I mean, I don't want to see that stuff. I just, I want my car to be nice and pretty. I mean, you put all this time into modeling these cars, make them look fantastic, put all the accessories on them, and then the first time you hit somebody or you bump a guardrail, your car looks like a crumpled mess. That drives me nuts. All right, so we'll do the same thing we always do. We got lights. We got turn signals. Make sure they're both working. We've got headlights. All right, sirens work. Turn on the ALPR. I think today we're just going to we're not even going to bother with speeders, because that's broken all the hell. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. It drives me crazy because you're a traffic patrol officer first, right? So if you're in a marked patrol vehicle and you're out on the road, oh, look at this. I disabled call-outs, and they're back on. What do you know?
I can't put up a roadblock right now.
So, right off the bat, we've got that problem. So let's hold Q. We'll go over to cycle matrix sign. Accident. Well, I got nothing in the ways of no open warrants. Everything seems valid. Let's make sure it's Hayuk Gao. I'm going to come around to this side since it's not a traffic stop. That looks like him.
Do you need help with your vehicle? Please tell me what happened.
I'm not sure, officer. Something's broken. The repair shop can tell you more.
Well, you ain't at the repair shop yet, so... Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and call you a tow truck, brother, because,
It's
you
fine.
need it.
Have a nice day.
So we'll go ahead and come here. We'll call the tow
I
truck.
have a car here that needs towing. Please send a tow truck to my current location.
Now we're going to see what happens. See, in this situation, I would have had the tow truck pull up in front of the vehicle, and then use the back ramp to pull them up because it's equipped with it. But instead, they've got the side loader. And the vehicle's on the back of the bed. Turn around and get in the tow truck. And of course, the truck is not moving. And he's not getting into the tow truck. You know, I mean, that was one of the things that they actually showcased is, oh, yeah, now when you call a tow truck, they'll just get in the tow truck and drive away with their vehicle. I mean, it was a simple stop. I stopped to help him out. I called the tow truck for him after I found out what was going on. And here we are. Tow truck stuck in the middle of the road, in the middle lane. The driver in the slow lane or whatever, just standing there on his phone. Traffic is piling up. Oh, good Lord. You know, if you're going to showcase this as being one of the things that you've fixed or you've done, you might want to make sure it actually works. So, just saying. All right, we're going to get on out of here because that's not a traffic stop. That's just us helping somebody out. Oh, look at all the broken down cars. I mean, all over the place. Good Lord. Must be a Keela dealer somewhere. Alright. Or it's one of the new Fords. But yeah. Just do a quick little... There's another guy. He's speeding. Can I actually pull him over? No. You would think I could at least pace him, and then it would detect that he's speeding. But he's going so fast right now that it's taken me 90 miles an hour to catch up to him. What is he doing? He's riding his brakes. They're flashing. Pulling away again. Let's go up to 65. Set the cruise control. Now he seems to be slowed down. I mean, it took me getting right up on him. He's still pulling away, which means he's still doing faster than I am. We are state troopers, so let's go ahead and pull over this commercial vehicle because obviously alright, spacebar still doesn't do what I'd like it to. Really? Try to stay as close to this. We need wider shoulders If you're going to have pullovers, I mean, look at that. I could have got splattered everywhere right there. All right, let's go ahead and driver. I probably can't get him for speeding. It'll give me a penalty, but I don't
stopped
care.
you because you were violating the speed limit.
No.
Yeah, see, negative
should I
5
speed?
CP.
I'm
Although
not in a
it was
hurry.
clearly and obviously speeding.
Can I see your
ELD.
logging device, please? I need to verify the data.
You bet. Here you go, officer.
All right, 6/24/22. 6 months ago. I think it's yearly for this particular game. Menace Global. Let's take a look at the cargo. Stilettos, candy glasses, and pesticides. All right, so there's 4 things on here. 28,356 pounds. Let's do a background check. They're on duty. Everything's valid. Okay. Let's get this back. Let me see your driver's license.
I need to see your driver's license and registration, please.
Yeah, sure, officer.
All right, that's good. Got a gun permit. Everything's good there. Names match up. All right, so we give that back. We're going to do a quick inspection if it lets me. I don't know if it even will because I didn't start with a way station inspection, but one, two, three, four. Seems to be everything's there. Okay. I already got penalized, so I'm going to give them the speeding violation anyways because they were speeding. I don't care. All right.
Here's a speeding ticket. That will be between $100 and
negative $5 again.
$150.
Is that it? Can I go now?
Everything's fine. You're good to go. Bye.
At the end of the day, if they're speeding, they're speeding. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Again, need mirrors. Oh, here's another one. We're just going to pull off. Just to make sure I'm checking everything. Touches the back. Hey, what's going on?
What's wrong with your vehicle? Can you tell me about it?
I think there was a problem with my engine. Could you call the towing service for me?
Yes, I can absolutely do that for you there, bud. Here, give me just a second.
You're good to go. Bye. I have a vehicle here that needs towing. I need a wrecker at my current location, please.
Sure. They will be with you shortly.
Let's see if he actually gets in the vehicle. I'm almost wondering if I have to change that up. Instead of letting him go, maybe I have to. But if you don't let him go, he won't get into the car until you do anyways. Or, into the tow truck. So, because I tried that the other day, and it didn't matter which way I did it. So let's just see what happens here. See if he gets into the tow truck or not. And no, he did not. Come on, boss. I already
Have a
let
nice
him
day.
go.
Goodbye.
Let's see if he gets in now. There he goes. You have to release him twice. That must be some sort of error. You shouldn't have to release him twice. If you let him go, you let him go. You just let him get into the tow truck. So logic is a little flawed on that. The conditions have been met once you've let him go the first time. So then you just have to wait. So I would do, like, procedurally, I would have done, all right, so I'll pull over, I see somebody's broke down, I come up, I ask them what's wrong. They tell me what's wrong, and they ask for me to call a tow truck. That should be the end of that. And then I can there should be a dialogue right there that says, sure, I can do that for you, sir. Then you call the tow truck right from that menu. And that should automatically release them and allow them to get into the tow truck once it gets here and their vehicle is towed. That would simplify matters and keep things a little bit easier on the ways of logic, so you don't have to think so hard on the logistics of it all. So, just my opinion, anyways. There's my blips and pullovers. Let's see here. Sirens are 2. Emergency lights. Change camera. All right. So, one of the things I don't like too is this right here, the blips. The hardest part is trying to get through the intersections while you're driving with this squirrely driving. And, like, say you want to cross through an intersection through a red light and you want people to know you're coming. So you blip and, oh, there's another one. We'll go ahead and just pull over and see if we can help them out too. Definitely need to be a little bit wider on the shoulder, though. Commercial vehicles are just insane. All right. So we ask about the situation. All right. So I'd be like, "Hey,
Do you need
is
help with
everything
your
okay?
vehicle?
Do you need help?"
Please tell me what happened.
I don't know what's wrong with this junk. It's like it's trying to ruin my day.
Well, it looks like it already did there, bud. Now, I don't really need these menus if he's not acting weird. It's not an accident. Why would I need any of this? I don't need to know his ID and insurance. All I need to do is call him a tow truck. So at this point, he should say, "Hey, could you call me a tow truck?" And then I would be like, "Okay." I'd choose it off one of these menus and say, "Okay, I can definitely do that for you." So let's just go ahead and we're going to let him go.
It's fine. Have a nice day.
And we're going to call a tow truck for this vehicle.
I have a car here that needs
And
towing.
the difference
Please
between
send
calling a
to
tow
my current
truck
location.
and impounding a vehicle should be different.
Tow truck will be at your location as soon as possible.
That's another distinguishment that you need to be able to make, too.
It's fine. Have a nice day.
If I'm impounding a vehicle, I'm impounding it because there is a criminal, there was some sort of reason to, a criminal reason. Whereas, if we're just having it towed, then we're just performing a public service. See, that works a little bit better. All right. Let's go ahead and start the ALPR as soon as we can. I'm curious what this actually does. Really wish we had mirrors. Oh, there's another one. Okay. It's obsessive at just how bad this is. I mean, a car broken down not even every quarter mile. Expired license plate. Now, here's a situation where I could pull them over, or I could act like this is a traffic stop, and I could give them a ticket for an expired license, or a license plate. Now, will I? Not really. They're having a bad enough day as it is. So I probably wouldn't do it. Unless, of course, they're snippy with me. If they're snippy with me, then I'm going to give them a ticket.
Do you need help with your vehicle?
I'm not an expert. I just know that something is broken. Please call the towing service.
All right. Now, I'm just going to mention this to them. I'm going to be like, hey, one of the problems you're having is you have an expired license plate.
I'll let you go with just a verbal warning for this one.
Oh, thank you.
All right. And then, you're going to let them go.
All right, you're free to go. Enjoy your day.
Then we're just going to call the tow
I have a
truck
vehicle
forward.
here for towing. Can you send a tow truck to my current location?
Tow truck will arrive at your location shortly, officer.
Everything's fine. You're good to go. Bye.
Yeah, I just think that's an extra step that doesn't need to be there. Of course, I'm not sure why you would be standing in a plume of burning oil smoke in front of your car like that. Placement-wise, I think I would have had her sitting over here by the curb. And again, that comes with the idea of you should be able to escort people or order them to move to a location and stay there. They should not be wandering around when you're arresting them or anything like that. I mean, if you got them handcuffed and you tell them to walk to the curb, you're supposed to escort them to the curb and they're supposed to stop. I've seen them walk, 6, 12 feet away, turn around, and do all kinds of goofy shit. You're just like, what? I told you not to move. What are you doing? So, I mean, little things like that do make a difference. And again, I am stuck in a situation where I have to try to get back on the highway while looking backwards, making sure nobody's coming into my lane, and I know this lane's going to end because there's construction coming, or it might. All right, let's get up to 65, so that way if somebody does blow by us. Whoa, what's going on here? Look at that. Another broke down car, and on the wrong side of the road. Doggone it. It's so hard to control this stuff. I almost need a controller just to drive around. But, oh, the road glare. I can barely see the lines. As it turns out. Another one. Trying to flee. And then you hit me. And of course, you won't get out, so I have to point a gun at her.
Open the door and exit the vehicle.
I am getting out now. Don't shoot.
I might.
You're under arrest. I will now cuff you.
Please, officer.
That's so generic of a situation. Let's think about this for just a second. Okay, so I went to pull this guy over. He started to flee, right? He blew by me at a high rate of speed. I'm doing 65. He went by me like I was standing still. So I know he's speeding. And then he tries to take off and run, right? And then he spins out his car. Okay, great. Now, if this guy is trying to flee, would he continue to maintain the position in the car, or would he jump out and start running down the highway trying to get away? Chances are you're going to have a fleeing suspect on your hands running down the side of the road. You're not going to have him sitting there waiting for you to get out of your car, pull out your firearm, point it at him, and then have him ordered out of the car. So, I mean, again, AI, but one of the things that bothers me about this is, for one, the infraction that I was pulling him over for was speeding. Although I can't technically do that without being penalized in the game right now. The fact that he fled, and I had to pull out my weapon to get him out of the car, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, if you're going to pull out your weapon and you have to go that route, then I would assume that he would be trying to run away on foot. He just wouldn't be sitting there waiting for you to get out and do it, on the rest. But I don't know. It's just, to me, that whole flow on how it happened Just doesn't make any sense to me. So let's just, for shits and giggles, we'll search them.
Please cooperate for a search procedure.
It's got a switchblade on him, so that's an illegal weapon. We're going to search his vehicle. Not that there's much to search. No items could be found. Search vehicle. All right. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to mute my mic for a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and keep on playing.
Hey, what are you doing?
I need some backup here to take a suspect into custody.
Understood. We're sending the closest transport to your location.
Okay, partner. Here to take the suspect into custody.
I have a car here that needs towing. Please send a tow truck to my current location.
Tow truck will be at your location as soon as possible.
Let me see your ID, please.
Sure, officer. Here you go.
You can leave now. Have a great day. Your license plate has expired. You have committed a violation.
I totally forgot to get a new one. Thank you for reminding me. I'll take care of it.
Driver's license and insurance card, please.
Yeah, sure, officer.
Slowly step out of the car and move to the sidewalk, please. You'll take a test to see if you've been driving under the influence of drugs. Please cooperate peacefully while I take a sample to check if you're drunk. I will now fine you between $50 and $250 for having an expired license plate.
Fine, but now I need to be on my way.
You're good to go. Bye. We're finished here. You're free to go. Have a nice day and take care.
All right, we're back. All right, so as you can tell by that last traffic stop, I mean, she was shaking, but who knows what for. The DUI cannabis was on a record. I did check that. But really there was nothing else. I mean, technically I shouldn't have even checked her for drugs because shaking doesn't mean anything. It could just mean you're nervous. It could mean a lot of things. So I'm not sure that that's a good indicator. When I think about things that if I was to pull you over, I mean, I'd be looking to see if your eyesight, if you've got bloodshot eyes, if they're glassy, if I smell anything, if you're drawling or you're slurring your speech. I mean, those are the things that you would normally actually look for. You'd be checking just glancing in the back of the car and on the floorboards, in the front of the car and on the seat, just to see if there was like an open container of alcohol or any drug paraphernalia, anything like that. But, that's basically what I would do. One of the things that's driving me nuts, too, is I'm over at this gas station off the highway, right? And I'm just kind of sitting here, and there's a bunch of these people walking around, but there's no vehicles. So did they just walk all the way down the interstate and just decide to come to the gas station randomly as regular pedestrians? I mean, there should be vehicles, and they should be interacting with the gas station. They should be going inside. They should be pumping gas. They should be having conversations, sitting on, like a picnic bench. What the hell is that guy doing? I'm going to back up here and just... I'm not going to bother him. I don't care what he's doing, to be honest. But, there would be these benches. There'd be a picnic bench. There'd be someone out, walking their dog or, letting their dog out of the car. I mean, when we go on long trips, that's what we do. We stop at the rest areas in the gas stations, and we find a spot where pets can go, and we let our dog out, and she does her business, and we walk around. We sit down at the picnic benches, might even have a drink or something, and then we get back in the car, and we move on. So... there's no life in this. I mean, the only life there is a bunch of random freakazoids kind of zombie walking around in the parking lot. There needs to be some population here, and there just isn't. So, and it needs to conform to some standards and some normalcy, and it just doesn't. That's the other thing. I don't want to see violations for turn signals when I'm not on the highway. If I'm off in a rest area or at the way station, I don't need to see that stuff. I wouldn't be able to see it. Realistically, you're not going to be able to see, especially with that cement barrier right there. How do you know if they had a turn signal on? How do you know, what they're doing? Do they have a broken headlight, taillights? You can't see none of that. So there's really no reason to have that detection in these areas. The detection should be based upon the area you're in and the general radius that you can see. Line of sight, yes, but this is not line of sight. Any hoodles, we're going to watch, I guess, the drug-addled wander around this parking lot, and I'm just going to decide to ignore it. And that's another thing. Why isn't there people pulling in here? Why isn't there, civilian vehicles whipping on into the gas station to get gas? Why isn't there any truck stops? I mean, a lot of crime happens at truck stops. A lot of crime. If the prostitution is rampant, drugs are rampant, there are fights, altercations, there's robberies, theft. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen at a truck stop, so I don't see why that's not in here. I mean, it's a highway patrol expansion, which is what I'm doing right now. I would expect more highway patrol related things happening. Now, this is cool. I like this a lot. Other than it almost looks like water just falls off the end of the earth, but under the bridge is cool. I like the boats out in the bay and the docks. Yeah, that's nice. Of course, there's no way to get down there if there was like a domestic violence call or, drunk and disorderly or anything like that. There's so many things that could happen. There's so much potential, and it's just not tapped. I mean, I get it. It costs money to make these things happen, but damn it, if you're going to make a police simulator, at least make it right. I mean, where's the crazed lunatic that's running around half naked in the middle of the city? The streakers that are getting busted for indecent exposure, and the flashers, and all just the weird miscreants that you would normally see in society. I just don't see any of that, which kind of sucks. I want to see that stuff. I want to be able to go out there and get off the highway and go out to these farmhouses and see what's going on. Maybe Uncle Jed's out there, with a still blowing up his house, or maybe he's got a meth lab in his basement. Those are the kinds of things that I want to actually be involved in. I think it would be fun. It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be entertaining. And isn't that the whole point of this game, is entertainment? So, I mean, yeah, I do think there is the algorithm for the broken down vehicles needs to change. Because it seems like I'll be in one section of the highway and there'll be like 7 or 8 vehicles within a mile, all broken down on the side of the road. And then I'll get out into the streets, like the north side of the city, and I might see 1 or 2 every couple of miles. So something there needs to change. Not sure what. I don't know how that algorithm works, but that's just my general observations. Whoa! Why? idiots. Wow. Why would you do that? Oh. At least use a turn signal. Don't jam on the brakes. Almost crunched up my beautiful car. I would have been really mad. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. We'll just call that a get out of my way thing. Alright, what am I looking at here? I don't understand what the violation is. And now he can't decide if he wants to be in the left or right lane to pull over. You might want to just pull over. There we go. Alright, I don't like how close I am to that line, so I'm going to back it up. Normally you would want to position your car this way. That way, if you have to get behind cover for whatever reason, you can. Expired license plate. Invalid registration, so that's the license plate. Gun permit, no. No violations recorded. Oh, that was weird. I looked back and this door is wide open. All right, so we touched the corner of the car. We're going to look into the back seat. Of course, we can't see a whole lot and we can't zoom in, so that kind of sucks. All right, this guy is wearing headphones. Let's see. We're going to say, okay. Expired
I
license
stopped
plate.
you because your license plate is expired.
Ah, I totally forgot to get a new one. Thank you for reminding me. I'll take care of it.
Really? Will you? Let me see your
ID
ID.
and vehicle insurance card, please.
Here you go, officer.
I'm sure they get that a lot. 23. Yep, good there. No gun permit. Insurance looks good though. Yeah, just double check background. There's nothing on background. All right, so in this particular situation, depending on what the department is pushing, the department is pushing traffic violations and, administering the fines in order to bolster state revenue or department revenue, city revenue. And as much as nobody wants to talk about it, that does happen. There is kind of a soft quota that they kind of push for you to do. They want you to be proactive. So, when you're getting pulled over, if you're getting pulled over for 5 over, chances are that department is pushing for people to write tickets and to make money for the city government or the county or whatever. They won't implicitly state that that's what you're doing, at least not that I've ever heard of. But it's pretty much a given that they want you to pull over people and to issue those violations and fines, because that helps power the government, right? So that's part of what your job is a glorified tax collector and law enforcement. But it's also to protect and serve the general public. But, if you're going to break the law, then you should have to pay for whatever you break. So, I get it. It's kind of a vicious circle, and it leads to a lot of corruption. It leads to a lot of problems. But welcome to humanity. If there's a dollar bill to be had, someone's going to exploit that dollar bill, okay? They're going to find a way. So that's just how it goes. But anyways, we're just going to go ahead, and since the guy's like, he seems innocent enough, he's not acting weird, and his insurance is up to date, and his license is fine, and he's got no priors, so we're just going to go ahead and order him. We're going to do the expired license plate and give him a verbal warning.
I'm going to leave you with just a verbal warning.
I don't have
Thanks a
anybody
lot,
telling
officer.
me I have to have so much money chalked up for the county or for the state. So
It's fine. Have a nice day.
all right. In all fairness, at least this playthrough so far hasn't been too bad. Yes, the AI traffic is terrible. Even on an S-curve where 3 lanes come into 2, there would be signs, there would be either a caution sign, a blinking yellow light, or, it wouldn't be as, I guess, abrupt and just really unpolished as to how people would merge from that lane to the next lane. And it would be a gradual merge, most likely. I mean, most highways these days don't have, like, you have to turn immediately, and then, wow, there you are. You're in the right lane now. It's a general gradual merge that the AI should know to make, and that the roadways should be designed for. I think that's a problem. Not a big one, but again, appearances matter when you're trying to sell a game, right? And when you're trying to make it as an immersive and entertaining experience as possible. And that's what we're talking about, right? I mean, it's supposed to be entertaining, it's supposed to be immersive, and it's supposed to be somewhat in line with what law enforcement go through every day. That's the whole purpose of this game. So, like I said, when I say there's vast potential for this game, absolutely there is. Absolutely there is. No way around it. There's no way of cutting that up and saying that it's anything other than that. But, yeah. Anyways, I think we've had a pretty decent duty this time. This shift has been good. So I'm going to leave it at that because for once I'm actually fairly, I guess, satisfied with the gameplay. And it's over an hour so far, so I mean, I might as well. And there was a lot of this video that, of course, I had to type, my dialogue instead. But, apologies. When we have a friend who's going through stuff call, I'm going to mute, and that's just the way it is. But anyways, I think that's good for now. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Once again, here's the cluster ad for our Ark Survival Ascended servers. Feel free to read through that yourself. You can pause the video and just read through it. I'm getting tired of repeating myself on it. There's also a playlist channel in my YouTube channel that actually shows an introduction to the server, what we have. I know that introduction wasn't as thorough as I wanted it to be. In my head, I had plans on that video to, go through all the mods, show you all the different places, the community center in Ragnarok. We do have on our cluster one community center. It does not offer things like metal ingot, metal, or element, or I think the poly. It doesn't offer the poly. So, because those are the things we like to trade in as a community. Granted, we have a very small community. People kind of sporadically log on, and they sprinkle themselves in throughout the day or throughout the week. So you might not always be on with somebody else. You might just be by yourself. I kind of like it that way. At first I was like, oh my God, we have to have at least 20 people playing. And then I thought to myself, yeah, but if I had 20 people playing, there'd be 20 people that are building a bunch of monumentally huge bases, lagging out the servers, not cleaning up their stuff, letting their dinos run rampant. So small is great for us. We like small. So if you like small and you like to just chill out and just play, and if you want to stream and play, you can. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do with that cluster. And if you have any suggestions or comments on the cluster, feel free to always contact me. You can contact me, Rio, in Discord, and I'll talk to you about it. I do take suggestions to heart. I just recently added the Dragons Kingdoms, a mod that has the new dragons, which aren't wildcard official, but they are fantastic. They're beautiful. I really like them. I like the taming mechanic. So, definitely some cool things on our cluster, and it's meant for the everyday person who's got a life. So you're not going to be stuck there. Oh my God, it's been 5 days. If I don't log on, my base is going to decay. No, that's not going to happen here. So, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. As always, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you.